Recording. Okay, so we gavelled in at 9:09 a.m. We approved the meeting minutes at 3 to 3 in favor and 1 abstention, and we are now just waiting for public comment. Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to committee member comment.
John, can you hear me?
Yes.
Terrific. I can now hear you, but
okay,
it's really soft, but that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Yep, sure. Any additional committee member comment? No? Okay. All right. That takes us to discussion and possible action. Our first item is the CABE model policy review. Our second item today is administrative updates. Now, I know we have with us today a representative from Shipman and Goodwin who has shared with the board some written advice, and we would like to go to executive session to discuss that. Is that an accurate characterization?
Yes.
Very good. Do I have a motion to move to executive session?
Well, do we need to add the agenda item to discuss first?
Sure.
It's a regular meeting. So I would
Absolutely.
move that we amend the agenda to add as the next item on the agenda, review of attorney-client privilege memorandum.
Second.
Very good. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Unanimously.
Now I would move, as this is the next agenda item, that we enter into executive session to review an attorney-client privilege memorandum, invite attorneys to tune, Dr. Pearson Ugal and Dr. Harrison to attend.
Very good.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Okay. We are moving to executive session. I will pause the recording and I will move members of the public into the waiting area where we will bring you back in as soon as we come back out of executive session. And I'm just going to start the recording back up. We are back in session at 9:51 a.m. having gone to executive session. I believe it was it 9:12?
I had 9:12.
Chris, I think that's right. Yep. Thank you. So thank you to members of the public and anyone viewing this afterwards for the patience. I guess the people viewing it afterwards, that was a blip, just sort of pause and then restart. But for those members of the public who are on, apologies for not having a sort of clearer understanding of, why are we going to executive session? We just received some really valuable guidance from Gwen related to student data privacy obligations under federal and state law, and how it relates to the policies that we've been discussing over the course of the last several weeks. So Gwen, thank you very much for your expert legal opinion and for your guidance on this very tricky issue.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I just want to look at any administrative updates. I don't think that we have time this morning to get into dig into any specific policy items. Are there any administrative updates, Stephanie?
Nothing that we need to discuss today. No.
Okay. Any other discussion on sort of administrative updates in terms of from the board or from committee members in terms of anything we would be looking for updates for next week?
I don't think so. I haven't looked at the overall project planning document this week, so I don't remember exactly what our targets are, but
I think we had, and I actually do have that up. So I think we have for the 5th disclosures on handbooks and websites and things like that. And I think we probably are out of time to dive into that. So maybe we'll push that to next week.
And we were going to do tri-board stuff last week, but then we failed to have an agenda, so we can do it next week, I guess.
That's right. Okay, so we'll focus on that for next week. All right, very good. So that will take us to public comment. Any members of the public who would like to make comment at this time, please use the participant window or turn on your video and wave at us, and we can. Hi, Ann. And good morning. You're on mute. I'm sorry. You should be able to unmute. That worked.
I'm glad you said that, John. Thank you. Yes, one of these days I'll learn to unmute properly and also use my little hand.
Sure. And if you can just say your road or the street that you're on
Oh,
in town.
Morning Glory Drive, Easton.
Thank you very much, Ann.
Thank you. Good morning. So one thing, I was kind of confused about executive session, but you said that it was about student data privacy.
It was.
So I would like to have I think it was mentioned that there was a memorandum in regard to, I guess, student data privacy that was discussed. So I would like to get a copy of that. And so for the record, I will send a note. Who should I send it to? The policy board or to Dr. Harrison or?
So generally speaking, the public comment is not sort of Q&A, but I think for the
True.
purposes of making sure that we're all on the same page. So this is a privileged document, and I would say, I don't know if Gwen or Chris or Maureen, who are all lawyers and I am not, can speak to the specifics of sort of how that works.
Just generally advice that's given by a lawyer to their client is privileged and would remain privileged. So that means it's not something that we disseminate.
It's generally exempt from FOIA and sort of other sort of public documentation.
Okay, I'll contact FOIA about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so the reason for executive meeting, because again, I just happened to notice last night that this meeting was this morning, and there was no executive session listed on the agenda.
Correct.
So
Yeah, and so what we did at the beginning of the meeting, and again, it's not supposed to be Q&A, but
sorry,
we-
yes.
no, it's okay. What we did at the beginning of the meeting was we amended the agenda because each one of these meetings is actually scheduled as a regular meeting. So it's not a special meeting, so we are able to amend the agenda. Generally speaking, we don't want to do that. We want to give everybody total notice, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about. But there are times when, everything is, crazy and we don't get the opportunity to do that. So, but because it is a regular meeting, it is permissible for us to amend the agenda, and that is how we added the executive session.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. And also, okay, and so the executive session was in regard to a policy on student data privacy.
That's exactly.
Well, it was in regards to an attorney-client privilege memorandum. That's the exemption
Yes.
to FOI that permits the
Yes.
executive session.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, not at all. Thank you, Ann. I don't think any other members of the public are present, so we'll go to committee member comment.
Thank you to Gwen. That was wonderfully informative, and I'm sure we will probably have to have you back.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to
Yeah.
help.
All right. Any additional committee member comment? Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Chris. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Gwen. All in favor? Very good. We are adjourned at 9:57 a.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Gwen.